Now we're talking. Why didn't we get this years ago? Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for the sixth Transformers movie to be made. And I say that because this is not a part of the Michael Bay series, and this is actually a reboot. Originally, this was supposed to be a prequel, but then they changed it to a reboot when they scrapped the Michael Bay series for reasons I'm going to get to soon. But yeah, this movie is going to be for 2018's Bumblebee, the movie that saved Transformers from the critic trashing it was known to get. Anyway, yeah, what is this movie about? So, this movie is set in the year 1987. Bumblebee the Autobot is on the run and seeks refuge in a junkyard in a small California beach town. Charlie, on the brink of turning 18 years old and trying to find her place in the world, played by Hallie Stanfield, soon discovers the battle-scarred and broken Bumblebee. While Charlie revives him, she quickly learns that this is no ordinary yellow Volkswagen. Yeah, that's the plot of the movie. So guys, let's recap this. After how bad Age of Extinction was, I was just fed up with Transformers for good and swore to never go see the next one that got made. Of course, that next one proved to be The Last Night. I avoided seeing Last Night in theaters, and from what I heard, I lucked out until recently. I tried watching the first 20 minutes of The Last Night yesterday in order to try to review it, and I already hated the first 20 minutes the minute I started it, that I immediately stopped watching it as soon as Bumblebee got dismantled and reassembled himself for some reason. So yeah, within the first 20 minutes I saw, that movie is slapped with an automatic 0 out of 10. Those are my thoughts on The Last Night. And that's why I will not be reviewing that movie, and I decided to just skip straight to Bumblebee, because I did not want to see the rest of that movie. I was very smart to not watch that in theaters, and Lucamus Prime and almost all my other YouTube buddies who like Transformers were right about The Last Night. That one, the first 20 minutes I saw, would be the worst Transformers movie ever made. Now that I've quickly shared my thoughts on The Last Night, back on to Bumblebee. When I saw the trailer for Bumblebee, I was not excited for it at all. I was already betting it would fail because it's yet another origin for the character, and it was being done by a guy I've never heard of, well, thankfully not Michael Bay at least, but still a director I've never heard of. So I avoided all the trailers for this movie, and then the actual movie came out and got a certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but I still tried to avoid it because of the last time a certain other sequel in a certain sci-fi franchise I like, I think you can all guess what I'm talking about when I reference that, got certified fresh on that site. Eventually, I caved in at the start of 2019 and finally saw it in theaters that day. What did I think of it? It was terrific. Easily the best Transformers movie of all time. I was glad I gave it a chance and glad this is a reboot and not a prequel to the base series. Anyways, here are the good qualities of this movie. The good qualities are that, well, yeah, it's a large improvement over its two predecessors, particularly Age of Extinction and The Last Night. Out of all the live-action Transformers movie, it is the only installment to be classified as fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, holding a well-earned 90% approval rating. Thankfully, Michael did not direct this movie, instead serving only as producer from now on, and he did not have creative control over it either. It even provides a great origin story for Bumblebee, showing how he came to Earth, how he lost his ability to speak, and eventually regained it. And the flashbacks to the war on Cybertron are intense and very visually well done, pays a lot of neat homages to movies, TV shows, and music from the 1980s. Yeah, so us Transformers fans finally got to see the war on Cybertron from the cartoons in live-action form. It was a treat for every Transformers fan to finally see something they never got to see in the Bay films. So this was very nice. We actually got a live action version of this scene. And we see them all in their great designs from the cartoons. And every song used in the film, thanks to modern audio remastering, something definitely better than their initial releases, specifically in premium format theaters as well as on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray with Dolby Atmos. And having only 3 Transformers, Bumblebee plus 2 Decepticons, Shatter, and Dropkick, for most of the storyline allows for the three that we see to be given much more personality and other character development than the Transformers typically got in the live-action movies. Even other Transformers that appear for short amounts of time, especially Optimus Prime, are characterized much better than in previous films. And unlike any of the protagonists in Michael Bay's movies, Charlie is actually a very likable and endearing lead character, and her friendship with Mimo is pretty cute, showing that it is possible to have a Transformers film focus on the human characters and actually work. And Agent Burns, played by John Cena, initially starts out looking like your typical military jock, but eventually shows himself to be a reasonable man who eventually helps defeat the Decepticons, and John Cena actually gives a pretty good performance here. And some great bits of humor, particularly when Charlie, Mimo, and Bumblebee play a prank on a girl who's been bullying Charlie, which was actually very well deserved, because that chick who kept bullying her easily deserved it because she got on my nerves so much. And the action sequences, while a little more understated than the early Transformers films, are still visually stunning for the most part. The film ditches the increasingly dark, near-apocalyptic scenarios that the previous films were centered around, and is noticeably far more lighthearted in comparison to, and some excellent direction of Travis Knight, who has worked as the lead animator for stop-motion animation studio Leica, and was also directed Kubo and the Two Strings in 2016. So they actually did kind of pick a right choice for this movie. The plot is even different than other rehashed Transformers sequels that were directed by Michael Bay, since you don't need to watch other sequels, especially the 5th one the most. Oh god. As the newcomers are interested in what they might be. And Dario Marinelli provided the amazing music score for the film, who previously scored Knights' Kubo and the Two Strings, making this the first time Steve Jablonsky has not scored one of the films in the franchise. So yeah, those are the good qualities. However, despite those good qualities, some bad qualities do kind of drag the film down a bit, but thankfully they are not the type of bad qualities you find in the Michael Bay movies. Those bad qualities would have to be... The bad qualities are that it's never explained how or why one of the Decepticons managed to beat Bumblebee to Earth, or why the other Decepticons are initially obvious to the fact that one of their numbers was ever on the planet. And most of the Decepticons speak like the generic emotionless robot accent, which can be kind of boring. And the visual effects, while generally pretty awesome, are noticeably cheaper in places compared to those in the 5 Michael Bay directed films. And for some reason, they incorporated a rather disgusting effect when the Decepticons vaporize humans into colorless, transparent slime, as opposed to the effects used in Transformers Dark of the Moon, where they just reduce the humans to dust. It still has some unlikable characters like Trip Summers and Tina Lark, Charlie Watson's rival, being the worst offenders, but thankfully Tina actually gets her comeuppance when they wrecked her car, when Bumblebee wrecked her car, that was very satisfying to watch. That was some good karma. That was pretty much really good karma, because she deserved it. And I also really don't like Charlie's mother, brother, or stepfather, because all 3 of them are annoying characters. They're almost to the same extent as Sam Witwicky's parents in the first 2 Transformers films, while her younger brother does get kind of a bit better. Once he kind of finds out the whole truth, he does kind of start to get a little more tolerable, but even her younger brother's kind of annoying, too. Like, her whole family is just really awful. I could literally see why Charlie wanted to get away from him. Didn't really like being near them, because they really got on my skin. Even though they're not nearly as insufferable as the Witwickies from the Bay films. But anyway, enough about that. Despite all these bad qualities, this is definitely the best Transformers movie yet, and was easily the film that saved my respect in the Transformers franchise after I rage quitted the series in 2014 with Age of Extinction, and how many almost rage quitted after The Last Night when they were unfortunately one of the unlucky few who ended up seeing it. So, if you are a Transformers fan and want a major step up after the very sluggish to bad Michael Bay era of the series that's been going on for a while, definitely give this a watch, and here's how I'm going to rank it.
I am going to give Bumblebee a 9 out of 10.
Well, that pretty much wraps up my whole Transformers series. And if you're wondering if I'm going to review the last night, guys, I've already said my thoughts on what I had to, the first 20 minutes of the last night in the beginning of this review. So that's kind of that review and this review combined. So yeah, the last night's the worst Transformers movie. And honestly, yeah, almost the same thoughts as Lucas Prime does, and Empire Fan Productions does. It's the worst Transformers movie, just from the very first half I had to sit through. So I will not be reviewing it. At all, I refuse to review that movie. But anyway, that's it for the Transformers series. It was good. It was good to rewatch this. It was good to rewatch the first one. It was good to rewatch Bumblebee, and, well, it was kind of a pain in the butt to get through Revenge of the Fallen, Age of Extinction. It was decently tolerable to get through Dark of the Moon, but anyway, guys, this January I plan to finish reviewing the Alien movies, the Predator movies, and I think I may review the Ninja Turtles movies, even though some of my subscribers are not fans of that series. I'm one of the only few subscribers that likes that series, but I'll be reviewing that series too. But anyways, that being said, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and if you'd like to want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.